Where was I? I think that's generally if you're trying to get into higher education, have a high school diploma, stay in school, kids. Excuse me. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, I'm Emma. It is great to meet you. Today, I'm going to talk about admissions to Leiden University. This is specifically, or the examples that I'm going to give are specifically to international studies, but basically any course here at Leiden that's international that you're applying to from a different country will be more or less the same process with some details that will be differing. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, I'm making this video because Danielle Nortup, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, girl. I'm sorry if I'm not. Commented on one of my last videos that I talk about what it's like to study at Leiden University, asking how hard it is to get into Leiden University. And let me just start out by saying that from my experience and from my friends' experiences, which is obviously different because I'm Dutch and some of them are not, it is not that hard. So don't stress it too much. The requirements to get in are not, I wouldn't say low because it's still university, but it's quite different from maybe like the UK and the US, because there you have to have like extracurriculars and maybe you have to have some volunteer work. Like they really look at your resume, and here they don't do that at all. So a resume is, well, basically not important for applying here. Now I'm quickly going to touch on the Dutch students. If you're watching this, honestly, don't want to be rude, but you should probably know how to apply to university. High school talks about it a lot. You go to StudyLink, you follow all the steps, you make a Duo account. That's just kind of the gist of it. I'm not going to really get into it that much. This is mainly focused on internationals because for you guys, it's probably a lot more confusing. One of my friends said that there wasn't much help from the university itself, like much instructions or many instructions. So yeah, I think that's important to focus on. All right, just generally, before I hop on to examples, you have to have an equivalent to a high school diploma of the highest level in the Netherlands, which means we have different levels of high school here. So you go from VMBO to HAVO to VWO, and VWO is the one that you can get into university with. This might not make sense to anyone that's not from here because I know a lot of different countries have a lot of different systems, but that's basically it. So for every country, that's why I'm saying it's going to differ a little bit, because your high school diploma, what grades you have to get to measure up to the highest high school diploma you can get in the Netherlands will obviously differ depending on what system you come from, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to give a few examples. These are all people from international studies, specifically from Leiden University. You also have international relation organizations. I know you have a international psychology course here, and there's a bunch of other international classes that, like I said, might differ a little bit from international studies just because you have to have different classes, like they require different classes for you to get into the course. So yeah, it might differ a little bit, but I think the general idea is going to be the same. So since Danielle is from the US, I'm going to start with that. Actually, my housemate is from the US, so it was very easy for me to find out. I could just ask her. And this is her experience with applying to Leiden University. So she said you have to send your SATs, your ACTs, and the transcript of all your high school grades of all the classes that you took, and that they require at least 3 AP classes or 4, but she thought it was just 3. You've had to pass those, obviously. So if you have all of that and you sent that, then that should basically be enough if you pass them all. Obviously you have to pass the classes and get a high school diploma. Then she said they might later on, after you've sent all this, ask for specific classes. So she said that they might ask for like a European history class, a statistics class, although we don't have statistics, so I don't really understand why they would ask for that, but apparently they could. But this will depend person to person. Maybe they won't even ask this for everyone. This could have just been specific to her. I don't know that. So, but just be prepared for that maybe they'll like ask for a follow-up for just some certain specific classes. And then you have to write a motivation letter, but I'm not sure how much they actually look at that, like how important the motivation letter actually is. I think they base it more so on your grades and you passing certain classes than actual motivation letter. So that might also be different from other countries. Yeah, it's pretty lenient getting in. What they do here is that they kind of, throughout the first year, there are certain requirements you need to meet to move on to the second year. So people that are not suited for the course kind of get weeded out in that year. And I mean, that's just a system that I'm used to. So I think it's really good because basically here, if you do the highest level of high school and you basically only have C's, but you still get your diploma, you're allowed to get into university, which I think is really good because sometimes people don't really excel in high school, but then in university do really, really well. And other people excel in high school, but university is just not suited for them at all. I knew this girl that was really bad at biology in high school and she barely passed it. And then she went on to do biology in university and like specifically microbiology, and she was at the best of her class, like because she loved biology so much. And high school biology is so different from university biology classes as a course in general, very different. And I feel like that goes for a lot of university courses. So just keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged if you're not excelling like intensely in high school, like you're not all the way on top of your class, then you might still do really well in university just because you love what you're studying, or because the format of learning or teaching, I mean learning and teaching, is just more suited for you. So I would give, just if you can and you want to and you get accepted into university, just try. Like honestly, just try. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, fine, whatever. But then at least you can say you gave it your best shot. All right, then I have another example from someone from France. So their grading system is from 0 to 20. And my friend said that basically you have to have an average of 10 out of 20 to get into Leiden University. Then you also have to send your high school transcripts. You have to send a motivation letter, kind of similar to the US, just with different grades. And then my other friend from the UK basically kind of said the same thing. So you have to have 3 C's in your A levels. So basically just pass the classes, and then you send a motivation letter, you apply, and they got in, so everything's fine. I think that's all I can tell you. I don't really know. You can't really do anything more than just make sure you do good in school and you get a diploma. You do the required level for getting in here. Obviously, if you don't take AP classes in the US or you don't do your A levels in the UK, then you're probably not going to be able to apply to university here either, because you won't have measured up to what we have done here in the Netherlands in high school. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. If you want to know if your education level or the classes that you are taking now will get you into a university abroad, just in general, not only university in the Netherlands, but in general, university abroad, I think it is probably best to talk to your guidance counselor or the person that knows about that stuff at your high school. Because, as I've said many times before, this is going to differ per school, per country. I also have a friend from Paraguay, and she had to do, so you basically have like university, and then you have, just like with high school, kind of a level below that. And from Paraguay, her university diploma or her high school diploma, they didn't really know how that measured up to diplomas in the Netherlands. So they kind of just put her in the middle, which is, like I said, one step below university. She had to do that for a year and like finish that. And then if you finish 1 year of that, you kind of get a diploma as well here. And then she could move up to university. So that was her story, but that's just because I don't think many people from Paraguay come here. So there's not really like a way of measuring how those education systems and what she did in high school, what we did in high school, how they line up. But she's now in her second year with me. She's passing all our classes, so it's totally fine. Like, she belongs in university just as much as anyone else does. But yeah, so my advice would be go talk to a guidance counselor and ask about it, as probably would be smart to do if you're deciding on where to go to college or university in general. So those were all my tips. I don't really have anything more. Thank you guys so much for all your nice comments on my what it's like to study at Leiden University video. If you guys want to see more college related videos in general, let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you have any questions about studying here, applying here, anything that is related to being at Leiden University in like an international course and stuff like that, just let me know in the comments down below. I honestly like love answering you guys' questions. People have DM'd me on Instagram, and I'm here to help you. So I know how hard it can be, especially if you can't visit the campus. When I'm looking at possible master degrees or looking at going abroad to study, it is so hard for me to like imagine what a school would be like. And if there's YouTube videos or YouTubers that go to that school, they kind of can show me their life and like show me what it is like to be there, then that makes it so much easier for me to like decide on where I want to go, even though that decision is quite a bit in the future. But still, you know, you gotta think about the future. You gotta plan ahead, you know? That was it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below somewhere, the red button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.